we're gonna go off of the long range first. So she throws her jab and I step off line. All right, so it's really a game of inches. When you step off line, it's here, okay? So we're here taking that step, and as we're taking that step is when our foot comes up. Boom, boom. So now we're gonna go mid-range. And in mid-range, this is punching range. Beva's gonna throw her jab, and I'm just gonna slip. Now when I slip, instead of taking a 45 back, I'm gonna take a 90-degree angle. So we're here, she's gonna throw, pop, pop. So now when she throws her jab, I'm going offline, and I'm throwing my own jab to her hand, all right? So, boom, boom. In a live situation, you're not gonna go, jab, gotcha. All right, your turn. Because you worked so hard to get that beautiful angle to just get right back in front of them and let them hit you. No. Okay, you're gonna get that angle and you're gonna take advantage of that angle. So you're not gonna go here and then reset. All right, guys, so in this segment, we are going to be going over countering the jab in different ranges, because as you know, there are all sorts of different ranges, and you need to understand how to distinguish the difference between in close range, mid-range, and long range, because there are different techniques that you have to use for those different scenarios. Everybody uses the jab. It is like the very first thing you learn when you learn any type of martial arts, and there's good reason for that, because the jab can set up everything else. It's like the beginning of a sentence. Once upon a time is the jab for martial arts. So here, I can't reach Bev with my hands, and I definitely can't reach her like with elbows and knees. So this range here is what I like to call long range, and in this range, I can reach her with my kicks. So this is long range, all right? And then we come in just a step further, and now we're in punching range. This is where most of the action happens in a fight. This is where you get most of your knockouts, because there's just so many options in this range. I can punch, I can kick, I can take down. So this is mid-range, okay? And then the closest range would be here, which is close range. In this range, you can do wrestling pummeling, you can do Muay Thai clinch, I can go for leg takedowns, I can go for knees, I can go for elbows. So this is all of the dirty boxing. This is the area where you want to do all of those things. So this is close range. So what Bev is going to do is she's going to throw out her jab, and she's going to leave it out there so that I can gauge where she's at versus where I'm at. So go ahead and throw your jab out. All right, so her jab is out, and I'm too close. I'm too far away to punch, but I am close enough to kick. With all of these moves, we're talking about countering the jab. If you wait for her to throw your punch and then counter, you're too late. I like to call it intercepting the jab rather than countering it, because you're not going counter, go, you're going go as she goes. Does that make sense? All right, I'm sure you got it. So, because right now we're just trying to figure out range, you don't have to do that, but I'm just trying to explain the concept to you. You are going to do this move as she throws her jab, not after, all right? As she throws her jab, this is when you throw your move, okay? So we are out here in long range, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a step with my back leg. Now when I take this step, it's going to do one of two things. It's going to open up my hips so that I can get my leg up high to where her head is, and it's also going to take my head and my body offline so that she can't fire back with her power cross, okay? If I stay here and I try to throw it, even though my kick will come up, she's most likely gonna land this before I can land my own, all right? So she throws her jab and I step offline, all right? So it's really a game of inches. When you step offline, it's here. So you can practice that first with the jab, stepping offline. Pop, pop. Always keeping your eye on your opponent. Pop. Once you're comfortable with that movement, then we can slow it down and get our leg up, okay? So we're here taking that step, and as we're taking that step is when our foot comes up. You don't go boom, boom, because again, that's too late. You want to catch your opponent off guard. So instead of going step 1, step 2, step 3, you go step 1, and that's it. That's all you need. Simple. So we're gonna step and kick, and Bev has her hands up, so she's gonna catch my kick, and you're gonna control your leg, aren't you? All right, so we're here, boom, 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 boom. One more. Boom. Good. The best time to do this move is if you see your opponent throwing their jab and they're bow and arrowing. We all do it. It's just a bad habit. What a bow and arrow is if you throw the jab, you get overly excited and you pull this guard hand back and that exposes your jaw. So some people, they're sparring and they go pop and they pull and that's open. So if you see somebody jabbing and you see them bow and arrowing, that is a perfect opportunity for you to do this move. Now, if they aren't bow and arrowing, you could still do this move, but we're just gonna have different targets, okay? So she has a nice good guard up. You could still go offline, and what else is open here? We have the inside thigh, and we also have her core, the middle part of her body. And this works a lot if somebody's guarded up high. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same move. I'm gonna go for her leg, and then I'm gonna go for her body. All right, so boom, 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 boom. All right, now let's go body. Boom, 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 boom. Now remember, this is just the very beginning of the move, the opening of the story. You can't just throw one punch and expect to win the fight. So you have to, in your mind, know what you're gonna do next. What happens if that punch, or what happens if that kick doesn't land? What do you do after that? Even if it does land, what are you gonna do after that? Are you gonna throw your jab? Are you gonna get it back in a good stance? Are you gonna throw another kick? Are you gonna go for a takedown? That's up to you to figure out. So now we're gonna go mid-range. And in mid-range, this is punching range, okay? So a lot of boxers do this. When we teach slips, at the beginning, we teach always going to their weak side, which is their lead. And you go to the weak side because you want to take their back. Here, she can't attack me, but I can attack her. So you always want to go to their back. Now, as you get more advanced and as you start to develop your own style, yes, you can slip in. There's a lot of people that slip in and are very successful with it. Manny Pacquiao slips in a lot and he throws his hook. Rose Namajunas was able to slip in off of Joanna and get that beautiful hook for the knockout. So there's a time and place for everything. But for this drill that we're doing, slip to the outside, stay safe, take their back, win the fight. Beva's gonna throw her jab and I'm just gonna slip. Now when I slip, instead of taking a 45 back, I'm gonna take a 90-degree angle this way, okay? So this is a 45-degree angle, this is a 90-degree, or you can say taking a horizontal angle, whatever you want. I'm just stepping to the side. And by doing that, I'm taking my head offline, okay? So we're here, she's gonna throw, pop, 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 pop. Always keeping my eye on my opponent, pop, pop, pop. Now once you get comfortable with that, you're gonna throw with her jab. So it's gonna be jab for jab. And I'm gonna beat her jab because my head is going offline, okay? Now for this drill, Beva's gonna put her hand here, and so she's gonna catch my punch right here. Okay, so I'm punching to the chest. In real time, I would aim for the neck because you're gonna hit something, right? So if you aim for the neck and they dip down, crack them in the jaw, okay? If you aim for the neck and they pull back, you're taking them off balance by hitting them in the chest, okay? So now, when she throws her jab, I'm going offline and I'm throwing my own jab to her hand, all right? So, boom, boom. All right, so what's important to remember about this drill is in a live situation, you're not gonna go, jab, gotcha, all right, your turn. Because you worked so hard to get that beautiful angle to just get right back in front of them and let them hit you. No. Okay, you're gonna get that angle and you're gonna take advantage of that angle. So you're not gonna go here and then reset. That's a no-no, okay? So you don't want to create bad habits during your drills, so don't do that in your drill. Follow up, just like we were talking about the long range. What do you do after? This is the same thing. What do you do after you get that beautiful angle? You follow up. And there are tons of things that you can do to follow up. So we're going to take that angle. Now let's see what things are open, okay? You can do a boxing shuffle. So you're going to go 1, 2, and then I have an overhand here to her jaw, okay? I can go jab, and then I have an uppercut coming underneath her jab hand. I can go jab, shuffle, leg kick. I can go jab, shuffle, body kick. I can go jab, body lock. There are lots of different things you can do. But please don't just take a beautiful angle and jab and then reset right back in front of them, because you didn't learn that from me. So close range is kind of like that dirty boxing, knees, elbows range. And close range a lot of times happens when your opponent is uber aggressive towards you. And it happens to me a lot because I think in the past people would see that I get frustrated when people would pressure me. But I took that and I flipped it. And now when people pressure me, I have an answer for it. And here's the answer, okay? So Bev is gonna throw her jab, but she's going to be really aggressive with it, meaning she's stepping in. And I'm going to invite her in. I'm actually gonna meet her with that. And I'm actually gonna close the distance. And I'm going to change my levels and get a fit in off of her aggression. So we're here, and she's gonna close the distance. I'm going to meet her, and that's going to allow it to become a close range counter. All right, so she's gonna throw her jab, and what I'm going to do is in wrestling, I'm going to take my lead aim leg, and I'm going to aim it right between her legs. And my back leg is going to explode me into her core, into her center. So just put your hand out like that. So what's gonna end up happening at the end of the shot, so see her hand is here. So I want to, it's gonna be an angle down this way. So my shoulder at the very end is going to hit her right here above her hip, okay? So I'm going to change my levels like this. I'm not gonna go like this because she's gonna see that coming. I'm going to slide in. And when I slide in, you have to think about your head barely coming off line and following the outside of her arm, okay? So we're here, I'm gonna slide in. And when I slide in, my caboose, my bottom is nice and grounded, and my head is giving her pressure. It's like my ear is glued to right underneath her armpit. If I came in like this, I would be off balance. She could guillotine me from here, and she can sprawl on me, and I would be at a disadvantage. So when you shoot in, you want to make sure that you're nice and grounded. So it's like, it's hard to lift a baby up from here. It's hard to lift something up from here, right? You're just using your arms. But if you do a squat and you lift something up, it's way easier because you're using your whole body. It's the same thing with wrestling. So you're going to change your levels. Your head's up, your butt's down, your aim leg is in between hers. My shoulder has hit above her hip, and my hands are going to be in front of me, protecting me until I hit. Once I hit, I'm gonna slide my hands down and gable grip right underneath her bum, okay? So we're here in the gable grip, so it's gable grip. And what we're gonna do is a little step with the lead and big circular step with the back leg. As I'm taking those steps, my whole body is moving together with it. So I'm in this position, okay? We're taking a little step and a big step. Again, little step, big step. While you're doing that, your whole body is moving together, and that's what's gonna allow you to take your opponent down. If I just use my legs, she still has balance. If I just use my arms, it's not strong enough. You have to use your entire body. All of it together, and you'll get your opponent down with the quickness. All right, so we're here, Beverly's throwing her jab, boom. I'm in, I'm tight, I'm not far out, my head's up, I'm nice and grounded, little step, big step, circling motion, and taking her down to the ground. Boom, boom, boom. Now, once your opponent is on the ground, you have to make sure to control the position. In ground fighting, it is always position before submission, okay? It's position before anything, really. I can't start throwing punches if I'm in a bad position. Once she hits the ground, I have to make sure that I secure a good position. No matter what I want to do, no matter if I want to ground and pound, no matter if I want to go for submissions, I have to make sure I have good position. All right? So I'm going to do that a couple more times. We're gonna boom, boom, boom. Okay, I have control of one of her legs, and now I can dictate what I want to do. Do it one more time. Good. So from here, you can bypass this knee and get a couple shots in, ground and pound. Okay? You can also trap her legs and then sprawl out. Get that underhook here. Sprawl out. Do some ground and pound. You can also pass this knee if you want. Get that side mount position, and there are tons of submissions that you can go for from here. Kimura. You can go for armbar. You can go for all sorts of cool stuff. But the important part is to get good position first. You got it? All right, get creative. Use those counters and understand the range for each of those positions.